Let's get some headlines from across the state of Texas, get this thing going. So there was some big news that came out last week, and it wasn't just the trailer for NCAA Football 2025.
Which rocks.
Which everybody's very excited about. It does look good, and we're going to buy it, and we're going to play it, and we're probably going to stream it here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. So don't you worry, and I cannot wait. Dial up Army. Just run the triple.
Let the troops.
I'm gonna make. Y'all are gonna hate defending fullback dive for 60 minutes. Anyway, all that's to say, the other big news that came out is that ESPN, Entertainment Sports Programming Network, will be bringing their College Game Day program to College Station in Week 1 for the opener, as the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame visit the Mike Elko-led Texas A&M Aggies in their season opener. It really is kind of like dripping with intrigue here. First of all, like you just have, it's two brand names, right? It's Notre Dame and it's A&M, right? I don't know the last time game day was in College Station.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's been a minute, I think, but it's a big game. Obviously, the debut of Mike Elko, head coach at Texas A&M, that's very big. Notre Dame, of course, is a brand name. There's also the connection, and it also does feel like a really important game for both teams, of like one of these teams is going to start the year with kind of a signature win, like a win that you really hang your hat on. Either Notre Dame goes to College Station and gets a win over an SEC program, or Texas A&M starts 1-0 with a win over like what probably will start the year ranked. Notre Dame almost always starts ranked, right? And they were good last year. Like they're going to start the year ranked. I haven't gone through national rankings quite yet. So that's part of it. The other thing is that like Mike Elko does have Notre Dame ties. If you remember, Jimbo Fisher hired Mike Elko away from Notre Dame to be his defensive coordinator. That's how he ended up coming to College Station and what gave him his initial connection to the Aggies. And so dripping with intrigue, very interesting, and I think probably the right call. I haven't looked across their schedule, but I would also say that I think, how do I want to phrase this? I think college game day has to try to project ahead and think, okay, like week 1, we don't want to do Ohio State because chances are we're probably going to do an Ohio State game later, right? You don't want to go back to a place. And so this is probably the biggest home game aside from when Texas comes to town, but I don't think that'll be a Thursday night game on Thanksgiving, so they won't be in College Station for that. So this is their opportunity to do it there in College Station. I think it makes a lot of sense. So A&M and Notre Dame will kick off the season on College Game Day. That is big. There was also a note last week that Baylor and SMU, in the era of conference realignment, and we're breaking up all these rivalries and stuff like that, Baylor and SMU, they're getting the Southwest Conference back together. As for 2025 and 2026, SMU and Baylor have signed a home agreement where SMU will host Baylor next September 6th, 2025, and then SMU will travel to Waco to McLean Stadium to play Baylor in 2026. That is good. I want to say for the record, that is a good thing and I like it. Those are good things. Also, I don't think it should be lost on anybody that SMU, upon pausing the TCU rivalry, is going and scheduling TCU's rival. Mm-hmm. I don't think that should be lost on anybody. I think that is I think that should be something that you should know, and I do not think is an accident. I think that there is a little bit of right now what I think TCU and SMU are going through is a lot of what A&M and Texas went through in like 2012 and 2013, which is a lot of like, we broke up. I'm with this new person, like, we're great, I'm doing awesome, I'm posting all this cool stuff on Instagram.
I don't miss you at all.
I don't miss you at all. In fact, I love that we're broken up.
Yeah, could not be happier.
Could not be happier. It's all been very, very good. But I do think that is...
But I might go on a date with your friend.
Exactly right. Yeah, can I go on a date with your best friend? Like, that's the equivalent of what's going on here. There's a little bit of pettiness going on. It would not be a surprise for like TCU to announce a home and home with like an ACC team or something like that. Be like, oh, by the way, we're gonna do Florida State. I'm going on a date with Florida State or Clemson or something like that. Anyway, it's a little messy right now. Right now, it's a little messy. It's giving messy in TCU and SMU, but SMU and Baylor are going to play in 2025 and 2026. It is like, I don't know. That was the first thing I thought whenever I saw that headline on TexasFootball.com. Was like, oh boy, SMU's getting real petty. And Baylor, I'm sure for their part, is like, we're happy to play a part in y'all's little tiff. I'm sure they're happy to do that. Anyway, that's something to know. And then finally, there's a big weekend of 7-on-7. Of course, the state qualifying tournaments are going on right now. Teams are qualifying to get to College Station at the end of June, which of course we will have wall-to-wall coverage here on TexasFootball.com of all of the state the state tournament down there in College Station at the end of June. Got big stuff planned for that. But teams are punching their ticket this week, or in state qualifying tournaments across the state of Texas, and there are a variety of them this week. There's an Allen state qualifying tournament, and in Allen, the teams that qualified were Allen. They would beat Prosper Rock Hill in the final to get there, as well as Byron Nelson. Byron Nelson will be in College Station after qualifying for the state tournament by grabbing one of those spots at the Allen SQT. In Wichita Falls, Abilene Cooper is heading to College Station. They get a win over Lubbock Coronado in the final to qualify for the state qualifying or the state tournament. Lake Travis down in Austin, Austin McCallum and Austin Westlake will both be in College Station. Westlake is a perennial attendee, and I do not think is necessarily any surprise. McCallum getting in there is good for them. Really nice win for them. They will be in College Station after getting a spot from the Lake Travis state qualifying tournament. In Division II, they're in Northwest. They had it. There were a couple of teams that qualified. Graham is, if you don't know this, if you don't follow 7-on-7, Graham is like the powerhouse of 7-on-7. Every year they're there. They're good at it. They take it seriously. They usually play pretty deep in the tournament.
That's one of those teams, too, that we always get a pretty good read on how well they're going to do in the regular season based off of them. Like, some teams you can't take a whole lot of stock into 7-on-7 on, but Graham's usually one that if they're cooking on 7-on-7, it's like, okay, you got to watch out.
I have a theory, if I may. Okay. My theory on that is that their offense tends to be, they're kind of running a lot of their base stuff there.
Yep.
We'll talk about this more as the state tournament gets here, but you have some teams that go out there and run 7-on-7 offenses. They run offenses that are designed to win 7-on-7 games, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't necessarily project for the fall. Graham, I think, because I think you're spot on, when Graham is good at 7-on-7, they tend to be good in the fall. And I think it's because they run their base stuff out there.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're running the routes they're going to run in the fall. And obviously, if the offensive line stinks, they're not going to be good. But, like, we'll find out the quarterback has a good rapport with their offense. So I think you're spot on. Like, generally speaking, that's a good tell for them. Lake Dallas also qualified there at the Northwest SQT. In Needville, it was Hitchcock who qualified. Hitchcock, of course, won the state tournament last year. Lloyd Jones III and company are coming back down there. Excited to see what they do. In McLennan County, they're in Central Texas. A pair of teams qualified. Robinson is going to College Station with they qualify for the state tournament, as well as Alvarado. Alvarado, big high hopes for them. High hopes for Alvarado in 2024, and excited to see them in College Station. Chapel Hill state qualifying tournament. Sabine qualifies out of the Chapel Hill tournament, as well as my mom's alma mater, the Dallas Kimball Knights.
How about that? Are
heading to College Station after they qualify. So excited to see Kimball down there. In the Wimberley state qualifying tournament, Austin LBJ qualifies. Nice. Keep an eye on them. Not just in 7-on-7, but also in the fall. LBJ is a team that you may remember played in the state championship game in 4A. Austin ISD decided decide to opt up all their teams for the next alignment, and they just kind of fell back to the pack in 5A. They were a little overmatched because they were supposed to be 4A. They're punching up. Now they're dropping back down to 4A. Austin ISD allowed them to drop back down. And so as a result, for them to now play not just in 4A in the fall, but also to play in Division II in state 7-on-7, I think that's telling. So keep an eye on that. Then Division III, the small schools in Dublin, it was Millsap and Sonora who qualified for the state tournament. At the Brazos SQT, it was Rice Consolidated and Lexington. Lexington, another team that is a perennial kind of power there in 7-on-7. And in the Hawley SQT out there in the big country, it was Eastland qualified for the state 7-on-7 tournament, as well as the Bobcats of Sunray.
How about that?
Armando Luan Hive, stand up. We're excited to see Sunray is going to roll into College Station. We get to get our eyes on Armando Luan and company. So that is the state 7-on-7 qualifying tournament results from across state. We've got complete coverage on TexasFootball.com. It's really heating up over the next few weeks. This is really like prime 7-on-7 time. This weekend, next weekend, big weekends for tournaments. So keep your eyes glued and your ears listening to TexasFootball.com. Those are the things that those two senses do.